Hello and welcome to all you Aquarians. Welcome for your monthly forecast for October 2014. It's eclipse month, eclipse time, and it's also Mercury retrograde time. And for you Aquarians, I think it's going to be rather positive than negative, or I mean easier than maybe other signs are experiencing, because you are an air sign and the lunar eclipse together with the Mercury retrograde happen in air and in fire signs, which go well with you. Solar eclipse is in Scorpio, so there is the lunar eclipse at the 8th of October in Aries, the solar eclipse on the 23rd in Scorpio. But of course these eclipses don't happen just on, well, they happen on that day, but not the it's a kind of a process. The energy of the eclipses goes way before and beyond those particular dates. And so the tendency, or the theme, let's say, of the month is definitely breaking free of old patterns. And for you Aquarians, it's in rather light houses. So I mean, it's not too difficult, not the most difficult houses. It's on the axis of the 3rd house and the 9th house, which is the communication houses. So what's going to be happening is that the moon and Uranus are going to conjunct each other at the eclipse time, and it opposes Venus, and therefore directly Venus opposes Uranus. Now what is all this Latin means? Well, it's not Latin, it's another language, but it means that first of all there's a theme of breaking free with the moon and the Uranus, but there's also the theme of discontentment, which is the moon-Venus opposition. Whenever someone has in a natal chart a moon opposite Venus, there's this discontentment because there is a contradiction in emotions. So you want this, but you actually need that, or you want or you need something, but at the same time you want something else, and that means stress. And oppositions are there to bring something to the surface and to acknowledge it and integrate it at the same time. So what to do? Well, this opposition, the pointer, or the most important thing you could say, is Moon-Uranus conjunction in Aries, which is in your which is in your 3rd house. The house of communication, the house of thinking, the house of siblings, the house of short trips, and your local environment, your direct environment, let's say. So there are some needs there that need to be faced, because the moon is about our needs. It's not always the emotions that come up, but it's what we need in life. And Uranus there means that there have been needs that have been suppressed. So whatever it is for you, you Aquarians, certainly those who have an Aquarius rising sign, they have been suppressing some kind of communication or things that they want to speak about, but they have no courage to do so. It is now the time to do it, to face it, because it's becoming too big. In other words, you can't, the energy to suppress it is causing you more damage than bringing it out. It could be an outburst, but it doesn't necessarily. So the more you have suppressed it unconsciously, the more likely it's going to be an outburst. But as I said, not necessarily. It can be simply an awareness that you need to shift and you need to change old patterns of communication style. So I don't think it won't be for Aquarians to be too much of a problem, because Aquarians normally they're quite tolerant, they are quite they understand that at times, notwithstanding the fact Aquarius is a fixed sign which doesn't like changes, but it knows that every now and then we need to do that in order to unchain ourselves from situations or in this case patterns that are thinking patterns that are no longer suiting us. So the mind is here very important, because the 3rd house is the Mercury house, is the house of communication, the house of thinking. So you could drastically, or maybe just in a little way for other people, but for you it's a big way, that you change how you think. The patterns that used to, you know, we all have these patterns, you know, sometimes when, for instance, a person is depressed, they always think in one certain way. They have that focus, which is negative focus. And maybe for you it's that, and that you're going towards a more, that you say, this pattern, it's no longer suiting me, I need to review it, and then after that change it, which will be more likely at the end of the month or the upcoming weeks. But it could also mean that you've been too positive in your thinking, so, and that you need to change that. So whatever your former pattern of thinking was, that is what needs to change now. That is that needs to be reviewed at the least. So and there's nothing wrong with reviewing the state of your mind and the state of how you communicate towards other people, because that makes you someone who will understand yourself way better and therefore communicate better and understand others way better. And Mercury is retrograde, so playing around in the 9th house. So for those of you who travel a lot, long distance travel that is, it could be a bit delays, or that some things happen when you need to calculate it a bit more time into it. But I don't think, you know, if you're aware of it, it's not that big of a problem. It can also mean that your way of thinking with people from abroad or other countries far away from you, that it becomes deeper and that you rethinking those connections. Again, not necessarily bad, but just deeper, intenser. When Mercury goes retrograde, it intensifies a certain area of our life, and it intensifies your broad vision upon life, your relationship with foreign countries or foreign people, your studies as well. It could be studies as well that you are revisiting, or you're going to start a new study or another study, or end your study. So whatever happens in that area could be the case as well, and it's going to fulfill more an emotional need of how you basically need to think. And then last but not least, the solar eclipse in Scorpio is in your 10th house of work. So maybe because all these changes happen with the lunar eclipse, when it comes to your work or to your social position, there are new changes going on. Could be a new job, could be an ending of another job towards a better job, and so on and so on. So there are also shifts in there. So very nice month, I think, for Aquarians. Wishing you all the best with it. And of course, if you, I made not of course, but I made a separate video of the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. So if you want to see a bit more, if you're interested in astrology, click on the link below and you will see the video. So thank you for watching, you Aquarians, and have a very good month. Bye bye.